Alright, hello everybody and welcome back to another Monday Night Raw review. This one is for May 16th, 2016, the go-home show for WWE Extreme Rules. AJ Styles opens up the show. He says that he is sick and tired of Roman Reigns saying that he is a liar. He's sick and tired of going on Twitter and other social media and seeing that people are calling him a liar and that he's going to use the club. He says that he has been successful all over, and they don't call him phenomenal for any reason besides him being successful. Roman then comes out, says that his past is his past, and it means nothing because he has not won the championship, which is the WWE Championship. Then the crowd starts to chant, "We want Rollins." Roman says, "You aren't getting Rollins, but you're definitely getting Roman versus AJ at Extreme Rules." And Roman says he's going to beat AJ's ass and says that Bloodline is stronger than the club. Gallows and Anderson come out, the Usos come out, Roman punches AJ, and then the club leaves. Sami Zayn versus Cesaro with Kevin Owens and The Miz on commentary. Cesaro starts off strong. He goes and sits on the barricade for some reason during the match, and like a 5 count starts. And while he's sitting on the barricade, Kevin Owens attacks Miz. They brawl. They end up brawling into the ring, and then everybody all out brawls. Shane then comes out and announces that Kevin Owens and The Miz will team up to take on Cesaro and Sami Zayn. Stephanie then comes out and says that, you know what, because that worked out so well on SmackDown, because it ended with Cesaro getting a haluva kick from Sami Zayn, who was his tag team partner, and Miz eventually getting the win. She decided that Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn were going to team up against Miz and Cesaro. Shane agrees that that's much better, and then she said if Kevin Owens walks out on Sami Zayn, he will not be in the Fatal 4-Way at Extreme Rules. So the match is set. Sami Zayn versus Kevin Owens. Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens versus The Miz and Cesaro. The match started during commercials, so I don't know who started on top. Zayn and Kevin Owens argued a lot. Owens tagged himself in. Hit a senton on Miz. 1-2. Miz kicks out. Miz takes out Zayn with a distraction from Maurice. Cesaro tags himself in. Takes over on Sami Zayn. He gets a 2 count. Miz tags himself back in, and then they argue a few times. Owens tags himself in. He hits a dropkick, then a cannonball. 1-2. Miz kicks out. Cesaro then comes in. He hits an uppercut on Owens a few times. Then he hits a drop kick. Sami Zayn tags himself in. Miz tags himself in, and he tries to send Sami Zayn swinging. Cesaro then comes in, hits the skull-crushing finale on The Miz. Sami Zayn then hits a haluva kick on The Miz for the win, and then Owens super kicks Sami Zayn after the match. Primo and Epico, they debut as the Shining Stars. They debuted against 2 local kids from Charlotte. Epico manhandled them. Primo hit a diving kick, and then the Shining Stars hit the Shining Star, which was like Epico kicked the top of the body and Primo kicked the legs, and they pretty much the guy fell. That's about it. And the match was really short. Dean Ambrose came out to talk. He says that last week on SmackDown, when Chris Jericho put him in the straitjacket, something clicked inside his head. He calls out Jericho. Jericho comes out and demands an apology for ruining his $15,000 jacket. Dean Ambrose then says that I'm not going to apologize, but I am going to challenge you to a match at Extreme Rules. And Jericho agrees to the match. And then Jericho says that there's nothing you can do that's I haven't done before. I'm the craziest person in WWE. I'm a lunatic, and it's not just a nickname. And Dean Ambrose says, okay, here's this. A cell is lowered. A steel cage is lowered to the ring with straps, straitjackets, a bucket, some mops, barbed wire 2x4. It was just a bunch of random shit. And Dean says that Shane said that he can have any match that he wants. So at Extreme Rules, WWE will have its first ever Asylum Match. There's no escaping. The only way to win is by pinfall or submission. And says that Jericho will never be the same again. Becky Lynch versus Dana Brooke. Dana Brooke makes her Raw debut. In-ring debut, at least. Becky starts off strong. Dana then throws Becky into the barricade as she was trying to leave, and then Becky had none of that. And she gets thrown into the barricade for it. Dana then slams Becky. 1, 2. Becky kicks out. Becky starts to rally back. She hits the Bex Ploder, but she only gets a 2 count. She goes to reverse a move by Dana Brooke, but Dana Brooke ends up falling down and just sitting on Becky, and she picks up the win. The Golden Truth finally debuts after 5 months of promos. They take on Tyler Breeze and Fandango, and their name is Breezango. The match was very short. I only cared about Goldust in this match. Truth accidentally kicks Goldust in the face because Tyler Breeze ducked, and then Breeze pins Goldust. Very, very short. New Day came out to talk about the Vaudevillains, and Kofi's like, they're from the bygone era, but I've never seen it. I wish there was a way. And then Xavier unveils the new DeLorean, which is just a time machine thing, with just a refrigerator box. And they say they're going back to the bygone era, and then it starts to like flash and stuff, and then Kofi Kingston's old music plays, and he comes out, he starts dancing, he goes back to the Jamaican, and Xavier's like, we didn't go back far enough. He pulls Kofi back in, and as Kofi's going back in, he's like, no, I want to stay here. 2009 was my best year. It was really cool. And then they eventually come out in the bygone era, which is just the screen was black and white. Everybody was booing. Like, the crowd was booing this whole segment. And then the Vaudevillains attack the New Day, and Xavier gets put through the time machine. The Usos take on Gallows and Anderson. The Usos have Roman Reigns in their corner, and Gallows and Anderson have AJ in their corner. Anderson starts off strong against Jimmy. The Usos then double team Anderson. Gallows comes in and dominates. He hits a leg drop. Jay tags in Jimmy, and he rallies back. Jimmy hits a corkscrew moonsault. 1, 2. I think Anderson kicked out? No, Gallows kicked out. AJ distracts Jimmy, and then Jimmy turns right into a forearm from Gallows. Anderson hits a spine buster on Jay. 1, 2. Jay kicks out. Usos then throw a super kick party and super kick everybody except for Roman Reigns and AJ. And then Jimmy hits a splash on Anderson. 1, 2, 3. The Usos pick up the win. Roman Reigns and AJ then stare down. Gallows attacks Roman from behind. The Usos then attack Gallows and Anderson. AJ picks up a chair and he tries to hit Roman, but Roman ducks and punches him for it. Roman then grabs a chair and hits AJ on the back, which the reason AJ didn't have a match is because he's apparently has a back injury. Yet Roman hit him in the back with a chair. I don't know. And and then he Superman punches Gallows. He Superman punches Anderson. And AJ from behind hits Roman with the chair and beats the shit out of him. And then he ends the segment with a Styles Clash onto the chair. This next match was literally under a minute long. It was Big Cass versus Devon. Bubba, he gets a table, and Devon takes over with a distraction. Bubba then runs into a big boot, and East River Crossing on Devon for the win. This all happened in under a minute. Okay. Kalisto versus Alberto Del Rio. Del Rio starts off strong. Kalisto hits a Hurricane Rana. Kalisto then gets slammed outside. Del Rio hits a flying punch. And then cuts to backstage segment of Rusev beating the shit out of Sin Cara and Del Rio holding Kalisto against the rope, so he had to watch. Kalisto then starts to rally back. Rusev and Sin Cara eventually make their way out to the ring. Kalisto hits a corkscrew. 1, 2. Del Rio kicks out. Del Rio then hits a backstabber because Kalisto was distracted by Rusev. He hits a backstabber for the win, and then Rusev attacks Kalisto and puts him in the Accolade. the main event was the WWE Women's Championship contract signing. Ric Flair comes out first because they were in Greensboro, North Carolina. And he introduces Charlotte. Shane then brings out Natalya. Natalya says she used to respect Charlotte. She wishes that the Charlotte she was fighting at Extreme Rules was the same Charlotte that beat her in NXT for the NXT Women's Championship. Charlotte says that there's nothing she can do or say tonight that is going to get the crowd to cheer her. These are her people. That she is their goddess. They worship her. Then she starts to boo, and you're like, you can't boo a Flair. She grabs the contract. She reads through it. She knows that there's an added stipulation and refuses to sign. Shane says this added stipulation needed to happen after what happened last week on Raw. And the new stipulation is if Ric Flair comes out during the match, he gets on the ramp, he comes out from behind the curtain, he goes to ringside, anything, Charlotte loses the title to Natalya. And then Shane brings out some security to escort Rick from the contract signing because he was getting all flustered. And Stephanie says that if Charlotte does not sign tonight, she will lose her title tonight. Charlotte agrees, and then Rick gets pissed off and takes off his jacket and tries to fight Shane. Shane's like, I have too much respect for you. I'm not going to do it. Stephanie's like, well, Shane, you might have too much respect, but I sure don't. She slaps Ric Flair. Charlotte then tries to attack Stephanie. Natalya comes out of nowhere and puts her in the sharpshooter, and that's how Raw ended. It was a decent show. Decent. I know, I was reading some tweets, and people didn't really like it. There were some segments that were very unneeded. The best part of this whole show was honestly Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens teaming up. And then Goldust dancing, I guess. But that's going to be it for today. On Saturday will be my Extreme Rules predictions. So expect those. But that's going to be it for today. Thank you guys so much for watching. My name is Camp Gonzo Cody, and I'll see you guys next time. Toodles.